up, world? It's your girl T Fizzle. Okay, so I want to shout out Miss Edwards87. She wanted to know my opinion on the whole Law and Order Chris Brown Rihanna special that a lot of people are talking about. So basically what happened is that Law and Order decided to do a version of the whole Chris Brown and Rihanna beating that happened in 2009. Of course, they used different names, different characters, but basically it was the same scenario.
Next Wednesday.
What he did to you is despicable.
A familiar story of two celebrities.
Make a fist.
Intertwined by abuse.
Caleb has a hold on her. Going against him feels impossible.
But get ready.
Y'all know me.
Caleb, I'm sorry!
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
For the Law and Order twist.
He's dead.
A powerful new SVU next Wednesday. And tomorrow.
But a lot of people are outraged because at the end, the girl ends up dying. And people are saying, you know, this is not fair and leave Chris Brown and Rihanna alone. You know, they've gotten over it. How come we haven't? And, you know, I finally sat down and I watched the episode. I'm not a Law and Order fan, but from what I hear, this is not the first time that they've done this. They've done other episodes where they've reenacted other stories that have made the headlines. So this is nothing new for Law and Order. People should realize that. But what I find funny is that people are upset that she died at the end. I think what a lot of people don't realize is that domestic abuse and domestic violence is very real. And a lot of times that is how it ends. You know, Chris Brown and Rihanna, they've now announced that they're back together. Chris Brown is out in the media speaking about it. And, you know, I wish them well. To each his own. But if he puts his hands on her again, that's on her. I will not be shedding any tears for that girl. But the point is, a lot of people are upset with how Law and Order portrayed them or portrayed the characters. But what people don't realize is that a lot of people do end up dying from domestic violence. I had a coworker a few years ago that I worked with, and we sat next to each other. We became really, really close. And she had a picture of her little sister on her desk. And I was asking her about her little sister and stuff because they had like RIP. And I said, well, you know, she looks really young because me and her sister were about the same age. I was about 20 at the time. And her little sister had died at 19. And I was like, well, what happened to her? And her little sister was in an abusive relationship. And they would talk to her all the time. It was her baby's father that was abusing her. And they told her, you know, you need to leave him alone. He's going to kill you. You need to get up out of there, because he was putting his hands on her and each time was getting worse and worse. But she stayed because I was her child's father. And my coworker ended up telling me that one night they had gotten into a really, really bad fight. And the sister called her and was like, you know, you have to come get me. And when she got there, her sister was laying on the floor. She got her to the hospital and her sister ended up dying. The guy beat her so bad, he was kicking her and punching her. He ended up kicking her in her liver, and her liver ruptured. And this 19-year-old girl lost her life. So it's very real. A lot of people do die from domestic violence. So I'm not offended at all that they made this character die, because I know someone who was personally affected by domestic violence, and their little sister was murdered by her baby's father. Some people can hit someone and never hit them again. You know, I know cases where that's happened as well. But a lot of times when somebody's used to domestic violence and used to beating up on somebody, especially somebody weaker than them, they need to get counseling. And I'm not saying that everything was on Chris, because I feel like Rihanna is a very hot-tempered girl. And I do feel like Rihanna possibly hit him as well, or hit him first. And that's what initiated everything. So I'm not saying that neither one of them are totally innocent in this. But I, for one, am not offended by the way the show ended, because I know someone that was personally affected by that. Whatever Chris Brown and Rihanna want to do, that's their business. They're grown. I wish them well. I hope he doesn't put his hands on her again. You know, if they want to get married and, you know, have children together, that's their business. Life is not affecting me one way or another. But I don't agree that it was a bad episode. I don't agree that they're being picked on. This is something that they do. This is nothing new to the premise of their show. And I don't feel bad for Chris Brown and Rihanna for being portrayed or having characters being portrayed of them. That's part of what it is when you're a celebrity. People pick apart your life and they can make a story about it. The same thing happened with Dreamgirls. They didn't say it was the Supremes, but everybody knew that it was based on the Supremes. That's what happens. Events happen in this world and people, you know, turn them into stories and turn them into TV shows and into movies. It is what it is. So anyways, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the entire situation. Do you think Law & Order was wrong to build characters around the whole Chris Brown and Rihanna situation? And how do you feel about the lady dying at the end from the domestic abuse situation? Do you feel like they over-exaggerated that? Or do you feel like this is stuff that happens in real life? So let me know your thoughts. All right, deuces.